please remember to leave a like, a comment, share the video about, and if you haven't already, subscribe. Thank you. Well, isn't this just fantastic? Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be taking a look at another shit talker, which can stand for two separate things. But since I'm not overly fond of TikTok, and TikTok produces so much stellar content, we're going to continue from where we were yesterday to an extent. This time talking about somebody who's just proud to be fat and hates Ozempic, but they do have some points that are valid and we should look at. My points and views when it comes to cheat codes is, when it comes to the United States medical healthcare system, it's selling drugs. It's a business. It's not about helping anyone. And looking for a shorter solution rather than bothering to put any effort in is a bit cliche. In my country, we try not to encourage it, but there's still money to be made, so of course it becomes inevitable. And if you can't be asked to put the effort in, then you deserve to be fat, quite frankly.
Are we going to understand that it's all the same thing?
I'm going to go ahead and assume everyone has seen the words on the screen and is about to realize the false equivalence being made.
I had somebody comment on my video the other day saying that Ozempic and these weight loss drugs are trying to exterminate fat people. They want to get rid of us.
Well, I guess it's fortuitous then that Ozempic was never intended to be a weight loss drug. It was developed and approved to treat adults with type 2 diabetes. The fact people use it as a cheat code, is just astonishing. The whole mechanism centers around mimicking a hormone called GLP-1. This then enhances insulin secretion, slows digestion, reduces one's appetite. It's like the other drugs that give off the impression you're full. It's about tricking the mind because yours is too weak to lose weight properly. This has been Meg's educational information moment legitness. You're welcome. And the idea of eradicating fat people, I'm not totally against it, to be honest. Mostly because then there'd be more food to share.
And somebody commented and said, how dare you use the same language about this that is used about what's happening in the Middle East? It's all the same thing.
No, it's really not. One involves massive ideological problems that will never be resolved, and the other are people too fat and ignorant to accept they're in the wrong. Now, you can argue that technically those same people are of the same kind because they're stupid. All of it's stupid, really. The difference, though, is you have a choice. Those in the Middle East do not. The majority do not. They are forced. They are captured. They are harmed. You choose to imprison yourself within something that can be resolved by going to the gym and eating less than, I'd say, 2,200 calories a day. Shoot for 2,000 and walk 10k steps, do an hour workout, make sure you sweat, and the weight will slough off in no time.
And that isn't to obviously discount what's happening. It's really bad. Lots of stuff is really bad and it all comes from the same place.
Question, because I've been following Foodie Beauty, as many of you will know, who went to Syria no less and is one of the few people to have put on weight there. Even after getting food poisoning repeatedly, she still got heavier and heavier as time went by. The question is, are the people in the Middle East who are fighting over the same thing you are fighting? You are fighting those who would seek to restrict your calories. Is it the same there? Or is there a deficit already in effect in the Middle East, essentially? Also, try not to forget the massive cultural differences. You live within a world of convenience. They live within a world of well-decided inconvenience, where your voice would not be one considered with any level of importance.
It's all white supremacy. It's all heteronormativity and capitalism. It's all the same thing.
I think we can safely say when it comes to matters of the Middle East, it's not really so much white supremacy. Unless you're going to now say, because of the creation of Israel, that was white supremacy. Although that would then be a massive shot at a certain race that lives within the Middle East that is not white, but happens to also reside predominantly within Israel because, well, where they used to live in other Middle Eastern nations, they were persecuted to no end. and ended up having a state created so that they had a home. Heteronormative. I haven't heard these quaint terms since the times of the anti-SJWs. Don't tell me I'm about to go back in time to the bedroom feminists, are we? I'm not against it, but I'm not entirely sure my audience are here for it.
Fat phobia is racism.
No, it's not. To be afraid of fat, or being fat, or people who are fat, is totally fair fear. I am personally terrified of the idea of being super morbidly obese, because I don't want to be a burden on society, but also because I don't want to harm myself, which is a fair way of interpreting things. If I'm not able to do something as simple as walk, say, 20 to 30,000 steps a day, which is my average, I would feel like I was a burden somewhere. I can't get as much done, I lose my strength, durability, and I think based on how fat interacts with some of your minds, I don't really want to be mentally compromised either. It is not racism, though, to be afraid of that. Unless you're now citing sources, which I do recall, that indicated certain communities had a higher risk to obesity, which would make you a white savior or a virtue signaler at this point?
Racism is classism. Classism is racism.
Racism and classism are not one and the same. They are considered somewhat deeply intertwined systems of oppression, depending on your interpretation of intersectionality. I don't follow or subscribe to that crap, so no is the answer to me. The basis of prejudice usually comes from physical characteristics and race, right? This then leads to a social hierarchy, which has invariably led to more people creating identities as a hook on who they are. The sooner these identities go the way of the dinosaurs, the sooner people are equal. The thing is, people who are fat are not victims of oppression. They are victims of their own stupidity, a failed education system where you've chosen laziness and unhygienic attitudes, behaviors, body parts, right? They are not the same, again, as racism. They're really not.
The way that the modern world has been created is with capital and control as its guiding principles.
Ooh, this is an interesting debate really then, isn't it? Do we believe, the 7 or 8 people now that watch my videos, that that is the case, or not? Personally, I think there's a point to it, but it isn't the point she thinks. Because this then leads into the discussion of the influence of companies, businesses, magnates in politics, the influence they have over the politicians with their wealth, the lobbying, the unions, and so on. My view has always been, I want a small government and I don't want any businesses to have any part in deciding politics in this country. It should always be the people. If companies have that, then it's wrong. But sadly, there is a point here where companies do. It's too idealist to want some individual freedoms. Why have that? When people are so willing to give it up. Because people vote like lemmings. They like to believe they're accomplishing something, but really what they're doing every time is walking off a cliff.
So, when they're trying to whittle down every single fat person, they're so excited that they found a drug that makes it so we don't exist anymore.
As of October 2025, the obesity rate in the United States of America is 37%, down from 39.9% in 2022. Now this has been because of increased use of drugs like Ozempic, semaglutide, Wegovy. Yes, it has played a part in. Whether it's the overall number is not known. However, 37% is ridiculous. Now if you want to break the numbers down even more, the obesity rate for women is 41.4%, men 39.3% back in 2022 that is, right? Age, from 20 to 39-year-olds, it's 35.5%, from 40 to 59, it's 46.4%, and 60 years old and older is 38.9%. The rate of severe obesity from 2017 to 2018 was 9.2%. It's 10.3% in 2025. Projections estimate that nearly half of all US adults, so 48.9%, will be obese by 2030, so that 37% becomes even more redundant. I am citing, by the way, a number of sources from the CDC. You're welcome. You think you're being erased? You make up a bulk of a country. It's embarrassing, really.
And again, not to devalue any of these things, I consider them all very important. If tomorrow they released a drug that said, okay, we cured blackness. If you just take this pill, you can be white. And then the problem will be fixed. The blackness wasn't the problem.
Okay, a few points of interest here. Firstly, it's a massive false equivalence. Nobody wants to have vitiligo. They really don't. Or vitiligo, whatever it's pronounced. Which is basically the condition that leads to some people of other races to develop whiter skin. The pigmentation goes out the window, basically. If there was a pill that existed, nobody would take it. Why? Because while it is considered more beautiful in some countries to have lighter skin than the nation you're from, and we've seen that with some American artists like Beyonce who've gone out of their way to lighten their skin more than it really is. We've seen it. None of them want to be white. We know that. You're falsely equating racism on purpose because you think it makes you look good, when really it makes you look like an intolerant racist, which I only really needed one of those words, but intolerant was required. Racist was a given. If these drugs become something more, they become more expensive and harder to make. The supply and demand makes it a massive market, and it's been steamrolled, charged, pioneered, trailblazed by the celebrities who are too lazy to put the effort in. It is never a long-term solution to the real problem, and the real problem is what goes on between your ears. Deal with that issue and you can be better. The same does not apply for being a massive raging racist, like yourself.
The problem was the system that ever made anyone think they needed to be anything other than what they are. It's radical acceptance versus stringent rules. And the only way that you get to live a good life of comfort and privilege is if you submit to us and you change who you are. The genetics you were given aren't good enough.
I'm not going to deny, listening to you trying to appeal to others' emotions with this deeply thoughtful and, well, very well reasoned mentality is highly insightful and tells me just how desperate you are to not be the last person left behind. Now, you can, as an individual, if you're large or not, make a conscientious choice to be whoever you want, and that also includes changing. What I've noticed, though, when it comes to those who choose to lose weight and they are part of larger communities, is how quickly, like any other cult, they are ostracized from the cult, bullied, belittled, demeaned, all because they have the audacity to do something better for themselves, as if somehow that's a bad thing. Wanting to live a longer, healthier, happier life is, to them, I don't think that's right, and I think people who think that way, or try and make excuses for that, are the real problem. Bullies come in all different shapes and sizes. Your thought process, while to you making you think you're being clever, really just show how much of a bully you actually are.
It's all the same thing.
No, it's not.
I don't like to get preachy on the internet, or I try not to have this smug affect that so many influencers do.
You make 2 follow-up videos to this. Something tells me the smugness is never ending.
And so I hope this doesn't come off that way, but I just want people to understand,
You're a raging smeghead?
The intersectionality of this is all one big problem.
Yeah, generally speaking, intersectionality is a big problem, because it's back to the oppression Olympics territory of thought process, or lack thereof. You have to create a system of oppression for a lot of people so that they feel unique and individual. It's what's led us down this path of so many different identities, just so people can be unique enough to be considered different from the other. The oiks, the muggles, the peasants.
With the same roots and problems. And the system of oppression, the interwoven systems of oppression, they want us to believe that they're different things. We can't build a coalition to do something about it. And it feels like now is an important time to get straight on that.
I have a better idea for you. Seeing as though you're in the kitchen, and you apparently are a woman, make a sandwich instead. How about that? a good one. Best of luck to you. Now, I do have 2 more videos of this person saved on my computer because they follow up with other things, conflating genocide and Ozempic. It's hilarious. If you'd like to see part 2 and 3, or more in general, let me know in the comments. View-wise this week we've struggled, so let's say 2,500 views, 500 lickies. I'll definitely make a part 2 tomorrow. How about that? I will be streaming on Twitch this evening, some Euro Truck, finishing up the Halloween event. Hope to see you there. If not, have a wonderful day, and thank you so much for listening.